Okay. Gonna wait a little bit for anybody who is looking at the stream to come on here. I'll also be looking at the stream to make sure everything is running smoothly before I start talking. Okay, making sure everything's set up. Also, I need to switch a lot of other shit. I just switched my audio settings so it's not coming out through the TV. You don't get that weird noise. Where do I go? Devices, audio devices, back. Up to device. There we go. Alrighty, so I just want to test this out because it's really loud in my ear. So I'm going to test out how loud it is on stream. Okay, it's not that bad outside, like, it's not that bad in someone else's mic, but it is, like, it's not that bad on the phone, is what I'm trying to say. Why do I keep on mixing my words up? It's not that bad on stream, but it is really bad in my ears because of how loud it is, but that's okay, because we don't have to worry about that, that's not my business. We're just going to turn my microphone level down, and we're going to test it out. Okay, that's perfect. Alright. So, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Today, we're going to be doing something that you've never actually seen before. Now that today I've gotten out Dragon Ball Heroes X Episode 1 Part 2, I thought it best for me to do an analysis also of this particular episode, because this episode kind of marks the beginning of the entire story. The very first episode, which is Episode 1 Part 1 and Episode 1 Part 2, which is the one that I just sent out, is supposed to be a pilot sort of thing. It's to get you adjusted to everything and how kind of everything works before you get launched into the actual story arcs of the entire series. So that's basically what I'm doing, and in this episode there are small little things that hint towards what's going to be happening later on in the first arc of the series, which, in case you don't know, it is called the Triple Threat arc. That's basically all I'm going to give you, and maybe later on, if I really feel like it, I might show you guys the opening that I literally just got finished doing. I was actually working on that entire opening today. I started it today and I finished it today, so let's all give me a round of applause, because I had a problem with doing that the entire time, where, like, it took me a year, like, for the past two episodes. Well, 2-part episodes, for them to like get out. It took like an entire year. Literally, I finished Episode 1 Part 1 in August, sent it out, then I started working on it, and like since then, and I literally ended Part 2 of Episode 1 in August as well. Like, it took me a full year. Like, and that's not okay, and I apologize. So I thought I'd probably get some shit done while I'm in the mood too, and yeah, I made a new opening for the new arc, which is, I would like to remind you, the Triple Threat arc. So, but yeah, for right now on this stream, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be playing you the episode and basically giving my commentary on it, kind of talking about some things, how some things were kind of hard to make, how some of my editing style is when it comes to making these episodes, and also lastly, anything that's going to hint towards the future arc that's going to be happening in like the next couple of episodes. So let's play this, and if it's a little loud, I apologize. Just Rest in peace, any headphone users. Just a forewarning right now to turn it down because it's a little loud, as you can tell. I like my stuff to be a lot more loud so that way you can turn it down rather than it being quiet and you have to turn it up and it's still not loud enough. So we're gonna play it in 3, 2, 1, go. I was gonna say that when I first started doing this was really making this opening was like really good. Like I loved this opening. And it was so long ago. Like photo mode wasn't even out. Photo mode of the wasn't even out. It's so nice seeing what I was able to work with and everything that I had and how much I appreciate it, especially because I just made it and it's like but still very respectful imagination. I'm good with what I have. Okay. Before we actually continue on with the rest of the episode, I want to make sure that I can be heard while the audio is being played. So we're gonna. So I want to make sure that I can be heard while the audio is being played. Oh yeah, no, that is a huge problem. I don't even think you heard anything I said. So what we're gonna do is we are going to I was an idiot and I had this on way too loud, so I'm glad I noticed that sooner because otherwise it would have been horrible. Sorry for the slight cleanup, I just need to try to do this as quick as possible so we can continue with the stream and not waste any time. Okay, cool. Just as loud, so we're gonna turn it down a little bit. We're gonna turn it down a little bit more. Alright, so now we're gonna test it out again. Sorry, it's been going over 10 minutes and we haven't even started. Alright, so now we're gonna test it out again. Testing. Alright, it doesn't seem that bad, so we're gonna lower it a little bit more. Sorry for that, like, ear rape fucking thing that just happened in your ears while I was testing that shit. Sorry. Alright, now we can watch this again. But back to what I was actually saying while I was doing this. Now you can actually hear me. I was saying that like it's really nice seeing this because when I first made this opening, it was like I loved it. I stayed up all night like making this opening because I started at like 11 and I stopped at like 4 a.m. and it's just amazing to see how far I've come and like how many things I've fixed and all the small little mistakes that I made while making this opening, and like how I improved when I made the most recent opening that I started making today, well, finished making today. It's really nice seeing how much work I put in with the stuff that I had and what I did with it. This is really interesting. I come a long way. I really did. That's not meaning to say that like that's not meaning to say that I don't have any room for improvement now, because I definitely do. I make a lot of mistakes when I make these things. So, but now the opening's over, so let's actually get started and watch this. I've been working on this for a year, which is extremely crazy to like think of. Oh yeah, note the fact that I'm gonna be pausing a bit. Note the fact that like from now on, when I switch location, I'm going to be putting the age and location, like the age as in like the time in history that this was, like the year, excuse me, and the place that it's actually at. From now on, when I make episodes, I'm going to be doing that. I really like the touch that I did with that. Also, I really love photo mode, because photo mode was like a savior when making this. It would appear that things are going well. Wouldn't you say so? Indeed, Lady Tim. But it would appear that our chances of success are still temporary. Oh really? And what would make you think such a thought? But my lady, they sent out Son Goku. If he transported to Super Saiyan 3, we're done. Shut your mouth, you idiot. You think I would finally decide to come out of hiding without having a well-thought-out plan? I've already given those bastards 2 bones to chew. More than enough for them to start grasping at straws trying to come up with friendship. The first thing that I want you guys to take away from this first scene that actually shows up is the relationship between Towa and Mira. It's kind of a submissive, dominant relationship between Towa and Mira, where Towa is the main one plotting, scheming, talking, and Mira is kind of the subordinate in the situation. Even though Mira is stronger than Towa, in reality the reality is the fact that he is so much stronger than her, but because of the power and everything that she has, and how basically she's basically as like, think of it as kind of like an army type of thing, where like the leader of the army obviously is supposed to be like the biggest and baddest, so he can just talk down on all of his subordinates, even though honestly and truthfully in terms of strength it's not that far of a gap. That's the first thing that you want to take in, is the fact how Towa treats Mira in this series, at least so far how we see it. And the second thing I want you to note so far right now in this first scene is the fact that Towa said, I already given those bastards 2 bones to chew on. So there is a second thing that she did that we're not seeing yet, that we didn't see yet happen yet, which is what you're going to see in the next scene. So I'll just shut up and play it. Speaking of which, I think it's best if I go collect the energy. I'll be back soon. Alright, Lady Towa. Thank God for photo mode. Thank God for photo mode. Photo mode made a lot of these shots a lot more decent. Frantic battle, Golden Cooler versus Xeno Goku. Next scene, Namek. I actually looked that up, by the way. I looked up the age for that, 762. I legitimately looked up. That's the time frame of the Namek saga, actually, in Dragon Ball Z. I had to research that heavily. Oh, it's just you. I can't locate the energy at all. Damn it! She always seems to be one step ahead of us. See, that's another thing. That's the thing that Tora was talking about when she said 2 bones to chew on. She sent and she changed the history at around the time of the Cooler saga. Well, Cooler saga, the Cooler movie, I guess. That part of the timeline where she changed history then. But this time what she did on Planet Namek is she sent an energy there. Just a lingering ball of energy that's just gonna fade away by the time Xeno Gohan and Xeno Trunks shows up. So there's a reason behind that that's gonna carry on to the next arc. So just keep your eyes peeled and just keep that in the back of your mind as you're continuing to watch this series until we get to the arc. Right. Ever since they come out of hiding, I get this stunning feeling that something bigger is gonna happen. Wait, Trunks. Do you feel that? It's an energy heading its way here. If we have to fight them, it could change the course of history. You don't need to worry. Just leave this one to me. This scene is also supposed to show, just as a badass showcase of Trunks. Greetings. Oh, it's just one of Frieza's soldiers. Thought it was something troublesome. How dare you disrespect the Frieza Force! That was so hard for me to make. Let's go back to the time where someone can really Yeah, right. The craziest part is the fact that that little scene where the screen went dark and the little cutting sounds, it took me so long to figure out how to do that. Not super long, but long enough to be damn. And now we get into the fighting. Let's go, Golden Cooler! Take this! What is the speed? Come here! I got you! What? I don't care, I won't let up! What? That shouldn't be possible. I hate the part that I talked over myself, so I can't fully hear what Cooler said. I don't even remember what Cooler said, and I'm not gonna make an attempt to try to look back because I'll be there for a hot ass minute. But yeah. Seems like I've built those hyperjewels on damage. Now, since everything else, so I guess I'll just sit back and watch how this one. So, what do you think of this power now?
I wonder what happened to all that bravado before. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Seems to me that your Super Saiyan 2 transformation won't be able to give you all of this energy. So, what do you say we finally put an end to this fight? Let's go, you damned monkey!
I really like the fighting type that I'm using now for a lot of other things that I'm going to be making on Xenoverse 2 when it comes to fighting and role plays. That style that you see now in the Dragon Ball Heroes X thing is the style that I'm basically going to be using and trying to master throughout the rest of my role plays. I'm going to be trying to do that cut by cut battle type because I hate my past role plays where I fought and there was a lot of just dead space in between where or a moment when I'm like recovering and I have to run past, or a moment where I fumble with some of my combos, and I absolutely hated it. So I love this format where I'm doing it cut by cut, kind of doing it I just really love that way. And of course there are some little moments in this, even in this fight scene itself, where I mess up and I make small little mistakes and it makes it look like not really that great. I'm trying my best for continuing onward, as you can see in the second fight that happens later on in this episode, and in the next things that I'm going to be doing in role plays and other videos that I make that includes this type of fighting style. I'm going to be trying my best to master it. Note the fact that if I'm flying somewhere, I need to make note of where I land, so when I go back you don't get slight little mistakes of me being shifted 3 feet to the right, or all the way up in the air when I was actually on the ground, right? I want to do better, and I will do better.
How was that mission? No luck. The energy source was gone by the time we got there. How's Goku doing? He's not doing too well.
I'm a lot prouder of this fight scene because this fight scene happens a lot closer to present day of me editing. Excuse me. I hate that dead part. That part where it's dead silent. I hate that. I just want to I like the part where he says Yamcha, I'm borrowing your move for a sec, because it notes the fact that he still remembers, this is kind of a slight spoiler, but he remembers where he came from, is basically what I'm trying to get at. He remembers the people that were once around him when he didn't take on this job of being a time patroller. He remembers all the people that was beside him and all their moves and their personality and everything. Which is why when you find out what their backstory is, it'll be pretty sad. So yeah. There's gonna be a couple of times throughout the series where Goku will be borrowing people's moves. So get used to it. It's not gonna be a rare occurrence.
But that doesn't make any sense. Don't shouldn't be that strong. At least Goku should have Super Saiyan.
Goku has been slacking this time. You can't lie for generations. It's good. There's too much from there. Some of the things. Some of those things.
I want you, the main thing that you should be focused on is the thing that is talked about called timeline training. I'm not going to tell you what it is because the next episode will likely give you the answer. But timeline training is actually extremely important when it comes to how Goku is able to reach further heights and get as strong as he can, and as strong as he is in other timelines that didn't include him becoming a time patroller. His timeline training is extremely important when it comes to him getting stronger and other characters that are going to end up using that type of timeline training that the Time Nest offers. It's going to be a really good thing. It's going to be really important and it's going to be extremely important throughout the series. It's going to be very prominent in how Goku gets stronger.
This is true strength.
I hate that part. I just want to cut that. I hate the part where I did that cut. He fell to the ground. Cooler's still in the air. And then he jumps down, and then the next scene is him on the ground fighting. It's so awkward because that's not the position that he was in before. And that's the example of the little mess ups that I was talking about, where I mess up slightly because I don't fully pay attention. I need to be more attentive in order to make these things perfect, or as close to perfect.
Let's get this. Stay down. Well, you seem to have reached your little time before. Which is quite impressive. But it seems it was only simple. So I'll be sure to give you a quick and painless death. Say goodbye!
I hate the fact that you can tell here that in photo mode when I was doing this, I made Goku a lot farther away, and like, I hate that fact that I didn't take into account the fact that Goku was not knocked that far away. Like, you see where the crater is with that blast? He was like right there. He was right at the tip of that crater. And I hate that I didn't acknowledge that until I already finished that scene. I need to get better. I like this part.
What makes you so sure of yourself? It's simple, really. Throughout history, Saiyans have never been able to simply go and die in sleep. Let alone he has to break his limits all over again just to prove that statement. Then he will. No doubt about that.
Really like that quote that I had made for Trunks. And then the reveal. I just want to say before this starts is that I really love this song, and I got this song from a channel that I started becoming friends with because of another mutual friend that I'd known on YouTube. His name is Sponge Sonic, and he makes songs. Like, he actually makes songs for Dragon Ball roleplays, for his own Dragon Ball roleplays, and he likes making some for his friends too. And this one is a theme that actually happens in his own roleplay that I'm in, where I play as Iris. This is Iris's theme actually, but I decided to use it for this scene because it really fits excuse me, I had to burp. It really fits the scene and the tone of how Goku really made a comeback that nobody really expected. Like, when I first saw this, I was like, even if I just sat back and pretended like I didn't have this plan the entire time, I would be like, oh my god, there's no way Goku's dead, right? Like, Goku's not dead. And then like you come back and then he's alive, and you're like, wow, he actually is still alive. And it's like, you obviously knew that he wasn't gonna die in the first fucking episode, but still, the fact that like he was able to make this calculated comeback, which is why this OST is called a predicted comeback, means that the person that is on the receiving end of a harsh attack comes back in the most way that they predicted the entire time. Like, they literally set you up just for this moment where they can rise to the top. And that's why I really love this OST and the rest of this episode, actually. The scene for this episode, the rest of this episode, I really liked.
This is where the fight gets cool. This is Super Saiyan 3. What? You should be dead. That's just the mission. Just where the hell did you get this power from? You see, I had this all planned out. As you pointed out to me, my body was starting to strain itself around the enemy surrounding me because of the energy source, which is both true and false. In reality, I was storing all of my energy that I had left and built it up in the enemy so I could transform it to the state. And when you fired at me with that blast, I just simply used it as a smoke screen to finally check into the screen. But that doesn't mean you're necessarily wrong. My energy is still drained even now, and rapidly. So, it would be wise of me to finish this fight when I still can.
The first thing that you should take into account when this part came up, where Goku was explaining everything, is this Goku's not a dumbass. This Goku isn't dumb by any stretch of the imagination. This Goku has the calculation skills that are on par with Gohan and Piccolo, who are considered to be one of the smartest people in this series right now. Besides, Manga, Moro. We're not going to talk about that. He's extremely intelligent in terms of fighting and everything. He still has natural intelligence, but just the smarts of fighting, he's very serious and he's very intelligent in what he's doing. A second thing that you should know is the fact that when it comes to this series, there's not going to be a lot of just like all fighting and no talking / intellect / plot. Like, this one is going to be a nice mixture of obviously fighting, because this is Dragon Ball, and talking and planning and understanding. There's going to be a lot more of a show type of roleplay, where it's like, it's not just fighting, it's not just random talking. There's meaning behind the things that are being said, and there's meaning behind the things that are being done, and all of the actions that are being taken by these characters. So there's not going to be in this show where people are going to do things out of the blue and it's going to be an ass pull. There's going to be a reason why these things are being done. I really like that. So,
Whether short overhand or long overhand, you'll be dead the same.
this part was dragged on for way too long. This part could have been a little bit shorter, honestly. I hate that I dragged this part out for so long. But now back to the action.
Now let's see how you do. I'll keep it up.
Another part where they talk to each other. I hate that little part where I didn't cut out, where he was still kind of like in this position. Yeah, and he kind of stuck there. I hate that part. And I also hate the fact that in photo mode you don't really hear any sounds. Like they kind of have like this weird like cutting, jarring sound that like sounds so ugly when placed on top of it. So you're gonna have to mute it. And I hate the fact that you can't just hear the natural fighting sounds, which is obvious that like I'm not expecting them to fix that because that's not an error. But in a role-playing sense, it would be nice if I could also hear the sounds. I bet you could barely tell that that was a cut. This part. That small little, see, you can tell from the bottom left, that small little quick cut. Oh, I really liked how clean that turned out.
What? This is insane. Goku's actually making it go around. He's wiping the floor with water right now. So as I told you,
Yeah, here comes my favorite part. It's coming up.
damn that Goku. He always has something new up his sleeve. He's just full of surprises. We had to worry for nothing.
I love this piano.
There's no way to believe this. The same mistake we made. Second age you. Straight into that. Back to the winning this match. Once and for all.
No, you would. You could destroy the entire planet.
If you couldn't tell, I really love this part of the song, which I think I did it justice with this scene. Gotcha, bitch.
What?
I love that part. Just comes back and then the music just flies right back in.
This is goodbye, Golden Cooler.
I always end up losing faith. And when I do, there will always be something about me to remind me that you are the strongest Son Goku there ever was.
Love that part. That was kind of a last second decision to like add that part where Elder Kai starts talking to him. This is when I first figured out photo mode was a thing. And as you can tell, because the little like jump cuts and stuff in this ending are kind of like really bad. But there's also some really good parts, like these Goku parts. I think I did justice. Don't be Dasta. And then Vegeta. Excuse me. Now that I think about it, this part would have been better with Gohan. I'm really proud of that part. This little like this part where it kind of like fades into everything. Hold it down, don't care. All I want to say is, this ending, I'm not going to use this ending again, because I'm just going to let everyone know that, like I already said at the beginning of this stream, I'm going to be making a new opening and ending per arc. So, this opening and this ending I'm not going to be using anymore. But, I just want to say that the opening that I used and the ending that I used are kind of spoilers. They kind of spoil what ends up happening later on in the series. I'm not going to speak on too much of that, but just to say it, opening one and ending one are basically just supposed to give you a general sense of the entire series. It's basically just a general sense, because that's what the first episode is. So, that's basically what it was. Opening one is supposed to bring you a general sense of what the entire story is going to be, hence why I used a Heroes opening. And then ending one is just a calmer version of showing how it's going to feel like towards the end of the series. Just to let you know, so it's not a heavy spoiler, what's happening here is not going to be exactly repeated. This isn't going to be exactly repeated, and also this fight is not going to be the last fight. So just to let everyone know, in case they're like, oh my god, you spoiled me, fuck you. That's basically it. So I see that we're at 43 minutes and counting, so just as a little ticket to anyone who's actually stayed and watched for that long, I'm going to show you guys something neat. I'm going to show you the opening that I've actually been making this entire time. So, whoever's walking in on this time, I guess this is your this is the most convenient moment, because I'm going to be leaking an opening, the new opening that I just made. So, here you go. I'm going to be playing it. Okay, so the gameplay recording was blocked. So, the bad part is that you're not going to see it in full screen until I upload it. And I'm probably not going to upload it until episode 2 is done. So, anyone who's here can see it. So anyone who's here and stuck around and watched this entire stream, or watched it when it actually got published as an actual video, anyone who's watched it all the way to the end, I'm not going to be showing this information. I'm not going to be letting anyone know that I'm going to be putting this here. But here is the new opening. So I just made it today, so I'm just going to shut up and play it. Say hi, they no story, 抱いてあってもなく3倍追い続けた人間だ New World. It's only just begun. 今始まりの Rise, where tomorrow brings a new day.
It's game, ready, fight!
So yeah, I'm actually extremely proud of it. There's not nearly as many fuck ups. In fact, I don't even think that there is any like out in the open ones that I've seen. So yeah, that's basically it. That's all I really wanted to show you guys, just to let you know I'm starting episode 2. I didn't actually start filming anything or editing anything. But yeah, sorry for that. My brother just walked in. But to give you a sense of how episode 2 is going to be going, I'm going to be working on episode 2. It's not going to be nearly as much action as the first 2 episodes were, so it should be out a lot sooner. I don't know if it's going to be as long, but I'll try my best to keep it at the 20-minute mark or closest to it. But yeah, I'm going to be trying my best to work on everything. I'm going to try my best to send out an Absolution episode, because I know you guys haven't been seeing that in a while. And I'm also working on a couple of other things. So I know it takes me a really, really, really long time to send stuff out, but I'm going to try my best to stop that. So you should be hearing from me in not a full year. So look forward to that. And other than that, I don't really have a lot else to say. So to cut this shit short and stop it from hitting a 50-minute mark, thank you guys so much for watching all my content. I really do appreciate it. If you really enjoy liking my content, be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment constructive criticism, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I know I kind of messed up my outro, but make sure to comment constructive criticism. I really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate constructive criticism. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, guys. And yeah, I'll see you next time.